Well, Psalm 13 is a relatively short passage. David asks some very important questions, and we can really sense his desperation in what he's saying. Towards the end of the chapter, David completely changes his tone, almost as if verses 1 to 4 is not even in the same chapter as verses 5 to 6. I believe the journey the chapter takes us on is very significant. Firstly, we see a deep desire to know God's will. Then we read about the threat of the enemy and fleshly suffering. But despite all this, David says that he is still rejoicing in the Lord's salvation. Isn't it amazing that despite the questions we have, despite the uncertainty, despite the suffering which is so evident today, we can still remain a joyful people? Joy is not happiness, because happiness is circumstantial. It does not depend on the day you are having. Joy in the Christian context remains steadfast, even during suffering. James 1:2 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." Joy is, of course, a fruit of the Spirit, an outworking of faith, something we all have access through the Holy Spirit, but given to us through the salvation story of Jesus Christ. Someone once said, joy is not necessarily the absence of suffering, it is the presence of God. So my challenge for you today is to remain joyful, even if you're facing a poor day, even if you're feeling down or perhaps even suffering yourself. Remain joyful, remain steadfast, because Christ has defeated death. He has given us salvation, and we have so much to be joyful about.